You're live.
Oh,
Should be live.
we're live?
There we go. Yep.
Sweet.
Oh shit. Let's do this.
I don't hear anything. Are you sure it's going through?
Probably not.
At least not on my end. It's just silence.
That's okay. Doing it now.
There we go.
Sean and Geek, SeanGeek and FastFret podcast.
Yeah, you got it, folks. It's me again with a little attitude for all you out here in white bread land. Let's see, we're on 92 FM tonight. It feels like a nice, clean little band so far. No one else is using it. Price is right.
Did you find you crusty, Dave?
This is bigger than friendship. This is what you call cosmos. Yeah. The Buddhists call it, let me see, reincarnation.
Hey, wait a minute. Since when is Pismo Beach inside a cave? I wonder, I just think we should have turned left at Albuquerque. And maybe a right turn at La Jolla.
Shush! Hush, please.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome.
Welcome to
Welcome to ZomboCon.
just for you, Todd.
This is ZomboCon. Welcome.
Enjoyable.
My God.
Just enjoyable.
This is ZomboCon. Welcome to ZomboCon. You can do anything at ZomboCon.
It's true.
Yeah, you can do anything.
All right, that's enough Zombocom. How you doing?
Not bad. Yourself?
It's been a week from hell.
Yeah.
It's just there's so much shit going on in every direction. Work is like ridiculously busy. Home is ridiculously busy.
Wow. Fun
Yeah.
stuff.
But I was so looking forward to tonight, and I was just waiting for like a shoe to drop where I suddenly had like stomach flu, or you suddenly had stomach flu, or I broke my leg or something to just make tonight not happen. I'm just waiting for it. But we're here. We made it.
And we're here.
God.
I have something that I received a couple days ago. I don't know if you have or everyone else has, or if they know what this is all about. But I got a meta email. A meta email regarding Facebook and something about my files. And what the hell are they talking about my files? Like, are these like all my pictures and videos I put up that they're just going to obliterate? Or because I signed up for the download and I went to download and asked you what you want to download, and it's just basically all information. Like, I don't want information. All I care about are my pictures and my videos. That's all I want.
Fucking pictures.
Everything else, I don't give a crap. So, and for some reason, I don't know, unless I picked the wrong type of download or it's got nothing to do with that at all. But from what I gathered, I thought it was pictures and videos. So I don't know. Did you get that notification for your account?
I did, and I don't know what it means. So actually, I'd be kind of curious to see what that is.
Type of download, or it's got nothing to do with that at all. But from what I gathered, I thought it was pictures and videos. So I don't know. Did you get that notification for your account? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I did, and I don't know what it means. So actually, I
I'm
oh,
kind of
what's going
curious
on
to
here?
see what
That
you're calling.
is.
Type of download or
Oh, we're getting
it's got nothing to your
okay.
YouTube is
We hope that
regurgitating back into the pictures and videos.
Why is
So
it doing that?
I don't know. Did you get that notification for your account? Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
I did, and I don't know what it
So
means.
so
What
actually,
the?
I'd be
Oh,
kind of
what's going
curious
on
to see
here?
what
That
you're calling.
is.
Type of
Okay,
download
hang on.
or
Oh, we're getting
it's got nothing to do.
okay.
Your YouTube is regurgitating back into the
Well,
pictures and videos.
there we go. Okay, there we go. Should be good now.
You got it? Okay. What was that?
I guess I had 3 instances open
Oh, okay.
of the stream.
That'll probably do it. Probably slow down your connection a
So,
little bit.
but I want to have it up so I can actually see the chat. There
Okay.
you go. All right, good. Okay, so Tony's asking here, did
Okay.
you get the notification? I don't know if you can see the chat, Todd, but I can read it to you.
I should theoretically have a double desktop and have something else open, but I don't.
Yeah. What, you only got 1 monitor? What's wrong with you?
I've got a laptop.
I've got 3.
Well, I got one laptop. I get that huge 32-inch behind, like what I was
Yeah.
making the thing with, but I don't have it hooked up to my. I should hook it up. It's too late.
Okay, so so Tony's asking, did you get that notification in that account? Or did you get it as like an email, or did you get it like
Yeah,
right
email.
as a notification?
Email.
Okay, so Tony, what's your thoughts here? Because I'm not overly familiar with that. I did get the message, and I don't give a shit because any pictures I have on Facebook, I have them.
Okay.
Like I don't like I have them elsewhere. Like I upload, I take pictures on my phone, and then those get uploaded to Facebook, but I never take a picture directly in Facebook. So I'm not worried about any of those
I'm sure I have
pictures.
them somewhere else, but I mean, to try and dig them out again, it's like, oh my God. I mean,
So I'm actually looking
it,
this up.
like if I could actually download it to my external drive to say that this is what I had in my Facebook. So if I go, oh yeah, that picture was there, and at least I know to go back to, instead of having to go through, a bunch of terabytes of information trying to find pictures that are, 10, 15 years old.
Okay, here we go. Is this Facebook message from Meta a scam? Your Facebook page is scheduled to be permanently deleted due to post. Oh no, that's not it.
No.
Tony, if you have any information.
But I did go to Facebook and it did create a file. But
I think Tony's making fun of you.
oh, is he?
You really? Yeah. Do you have your phone with you? You could actually
great.
have it
I
open
can't.
on your phone.
I can't. They're making fun of me, and I can't even.
Oh
see.
yeah, exactly. You can't even defend yourself.
Well, you know what? That's even better because I don't give a shit.
Tony's getting cocky because he got let out of the dungeon beneath the lunchroom in Metal Shop. So I
Oh,
think he's starting to get a little confident in taking on the Meta Lord. Wait a minute, Todd. If you're the Meta Lord, how come you don't have the answer to this?
no, I just got an email.
Google saves your photos automatically, so I just let them fester in the cloud. Yeah. He just said you have a 32-inch behind, might need to exercise. When you're talking about your monitor, you said you had a 32-inch behind your laptop.
Oh,
You said you need to exercise. That was good. But you know what?
That's a good one.
I believe Tony is a dad because that was definitely a dad joke. Yeah. I'm adjusting my camera because I get this new t-shirt. I don't know if you can see it.
Well, that's not a good
Ellie
sign.
picked this out for me.
Bad.
Like,
Bad up
you
ahead.
like that? Yeah. No, Tony, we're not going to shove you back in the abyss. In fact, I do want you on the show at some point because we're going to kick Peeping Tom off, I think, and make Tony a permanent resident in some way, shape, or form. We talk about Tom every week on Metal Shop, but that's got to stop. He's starting to get delusions of grandeur. I'm just kidding. So I don't know what this Facebook thing is, but all I know for me, I've never ever trusted Facebook.
Right.
So I've always specifically made sure anything I've uploaded on there is all stuff that I have. Like I'll take my phone, I'll take a picture, it's in my phone, and it's safe, and then I purge my phone. I don't take a lot of pictures, but Sylvia purges her phone every month. We put them onto a separate
Hard drive.
USB storage unit,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. You just hope it doesn't go down, because if it goes down, that's a lot of pictures you've lost.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I went on and I've actually been deleting pictures off of there. Because I get pictures with people that I don't talk to anymore.
Pictures of
And
food.
pictures of food, yeah. Lots of that, I guess. But I've been deleting stuff off there. It's like, what's the point? Like, if I want to look, 200 years from now, when my great 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 grandchildren go to Facebook to look at my account, which has probably been deleted anyway, you know, I I don't want them to. Only the good pictures should be up there.
Here's a question or a poll. Okay, or a question, I guess. So, what pictures do you take with your phone that you would have never taken with say with a 35 millimeter or one of those 110 cameras? I guess I'm dating myself because that's old. Except for our grandparents had one of those ones that had the bulb, the flash bulb, the blue bulb,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and then when you clicked it, it would, it would blind you, and you'd see stars for a while.
yeah.
Yeah.
So your question is, what pictures would you take on an old camera
No,
versus the ones you would take on a phone or
what,
whatever, right?
yeah, what pictures would you not take with the 35 mil versus what you take with your phone? Because I mean, your phone, you're taking pictures of your food. Would you normally take that with your other
Oh
camera?
no.
A film camera where you had to go get it developed? No. Why
Where
would you?
you don't know how the picture's going to turn out
Well,
either.
plus that had that crank thing, right? So it was like, well, how many pictures are there left? Oh, it's got 12. Oh, it's got another spot for two more, or whatever. And you don't know.
Yeah.
And then when
And
they
then
come
some got
out,
double exposed, right? So you always had to be cautious with what.
yeah, and those ones show up in the internet going, "Ooh, look like a ghost appearance," and no, it was overexposed because you went too far.
Yeah.
You opened
Crank,
up
crank,
the
crank.
lid, or you opened up the lid when it wasn't cranked all the way, and then the film had to roll into that little plastic tube. And how many people still have like pictures that they've taken that are still in those 35 millimeter tubes that they haven't processed yet? Or
Ooh, good
someone
question.
who has gone and had them processed and to see what they look like, because I think whatever chemical or whatever's inside, I mean, it only has a shelf life of so long. Those pictures would be really screwed. Like you'd probably only get
Yeah.
like outlines of certain portions of and stuff.
Like, does it go bad after a while?
I would say so. I would say so because there's got to be a
It don't-
chemical as soon as the flash thing opens, as soon as the
Yeah.
light hits it, it
Yeah, yeah.
reacts chemically. So
See, I think we were more specific about what pictures we took back in the day. Like, okay, well, this is an important moment.
we only had so
Everybody
many.
pose, like we were very cautious about like what pictures we took. They had to be important. Now it's like, I'll just take a picture. I'm gonna take 17 pictures and one of them will be good. Like that's one thing we do nowadays.
Yeah,
Like they have
yeah.
that function where you just hold or you hold the button and it goes and it just takes a whole series of pictures and kind of takes all 12 pictures and kind of makes one good picture out of it.
You take the one where you have the best smile, not where it's fading off, or your eyes are closed, or I don't know. Do you
Yeah.
get red eyes with the back in the day with the flash in your other camera? You get red eyes. Nowadays, I think don't they have a filter or something that automatically takes a red eye
Yeah,
out?
yeah. Like yeah, and like for example, like Ellie never smiles, so we'll take 12 pictures and she'll smile in one of the 12. So I think with Sylvie's phone, there's a way that it'll like take her smile in the one picture and make sure it goes with everyone else. Like,
Well, they'll have
because
the AI.
there's always one kid that's like closed and little eyes open, and one going or whatever.
Well, the Snapchat filters, right? That
Yeah,
they have like people smiling or grinning or whatever. You could have that on there as an AI thing for your camera so that when you take a picture, oh, you only need to take one picture. You just hit the AI button. You go, what do you want? You want a full smile, partial smile? You could probably adjust it the way you wanted it.
yeah.
There will be a time when that happens, I'm sure.
You remember the filters we used to use in the old days? It was called putting a hat on.
Yeah,
putting a fake mustache on.
that was your filter.
Yeah, that was her filter.
Yeah, there was
Oh,
no
God.
manipulation of the photos. Was it Photoshop was the closest thing you can do, and even then you needed a degree to figure out how to freaking use it.
Oh yeah.
Nowadays, I
We
think
get
you just point and click and everything does it automatically. Kind of like with
yeah,
Windows
no,
when it first came out, you need to have a degree. Now, it's a
it's
lot different.
yeah. I remember we didn't have when I was first on a computer, there was no mouse. It was all like hotkeys, right? So it was like
Right.
Control C, Control V, you know,
Yeah.
Control whatever, like to print or whatever. You were using your your buttons to get it right.
Same
I just want to
with
point out. So we get Tony in the chat. We got
DOS.
Danielle in the chat,
Hmm.
and oh, Tony uses his camera phone to blow up the image when he's trying to read medicine bottles.
Hey, that's a good idea. I
Yeah,
mean, at our age, I used to be
I
able to read little lettering. I mean, I was like, I could go into electronics and I could look at something and I could see all the little fine
yeah,
print.
the finest. Yeah,
Now I can't see shit. So now I got to wear those Costco glasses number 2 or 2.5 or 3 or
yep.
whatever they are to try and read these medicine bottles now. Even
Hmm.
if I'm trying to read a recipe on my phone or not so much on my phone, but say on the laptop or something, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, I get cheater glasses. I think we're at that stage where the cheater glasses were great for me. I can read anything with those things. But Danielle wanted to ask a question here, or wanted to bring up something, which I want actually, I really want to talk about this because I want to get your 2 cents on it.
Okay.
So she's saying she got a warning message on in her Gmail about my storage being full, almost full. It won't be able to receive send emails. And then she says, I delete shit and it's fine. And then the next day it's back. Been dealing with this for like 2 weeks.
But is that legit?
I think so. I've had it before. But the other thing to keep in mind is emptying your deleted folder,
Yeah.
emptying your junk folder,
Yeah.
or actually deleting your junk folder and then deleting your deleted folder after and making sure it's empty. But I think there used to be like upper limits for storage, and now they're like, no, they're nickel and diming you on storage space now. Like, oh, you need you to buy storage, and it's like, how how big is a fucking email? It's tiny, you know.
Well, my Hotmail was
I-
like that.
yeah,
I got an email saying, "Oh, my storage is full." I'm like at 90 some percent. So
yeah,
it's like, okay, so then I went, took all my deleted ones out, went through all my messages, tried to get anything that had an attachment on it is usually what's taking up all the room. I start firing all these things out. It didn't seem to help much. So I went into I think it's called OneDrive that comes uh,
OneDrive, yeah.
with Hotmail. So I went in there and
Mhm.
I had a whole bunch of crap in there, and I think that's what was taken up because it would show you how much room each thing was taking. And I think
Well,
that's where I had most of
okay,
the.
so this is what I discovered, and Sylvie had the same issue, and this might be Danielle's problem, is that depending on how your phone is set up, because you know how OneDrive works is if you go with the default settings on your computer for Windows, it's backing up all this fucking shit all the time that you wouldn't normally want backed up. So it's backing up everything in your My Documents folder, everything in your pictures folder, everything
Right.
in your videos folder. And then every time you take a screenshot, it's saving a separate image and it's saving that in a folder that goes to your OneDrive and it fills up. Google Drive works the same way. So if you're using a lot of Google things on your phone, the Google search, and you're taking pictures, a lot of this shit is going to end up getting backed up on your Google account and you're going to fill up so fucking fast. So that is definitely an issue. So they're basically, oh, we're going to back everything up. We're going to back everything up. Oh, you're out of room. You're instantly out of room. But I don't know. I don't think they always backed everything up. But now they're trying to force people to back everything up, whether you know it or not. Like I don't back up like I don't back up any of this shit.
Same with the iPhone's the same thing. Dondra's phone is an iPhone, so hers comes up her cloud is full or something or other. Then you got to go in the cloud, say, stop putting stuff in the cloud. I didn't ask to be put there. And God forbid when you're trying to sign into your account because Apple, every time you scratch your nose, you have to sign in,
Oh yeah.
which is crazy.
Yeah, if you don't sign in like all the time.
I mean, Android's not really any better. I mean, you have to.
I'm just gonna play this here because I think it's appropriate. He's basically going to tell you to get off of his cloud, which is why I put this on. Hey, you get off of my cloud. Get out of my cloud. I think someone's got to remake this song as a modern version of cloud storage. Anyway,
Hey, cloud, get off of my U.
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Everything the way it's worked, it's just like when you take your car in to get fixed, and it's like this is the stand. Like in the old days, yeah, your car's fine, your car's fine, your car's fine, right? Now they do all these auto diagnostics and shit, and then now it's like, well, you know what, your brake pads are at this level, and you're at 50%. And we're probably going to want to change that in about whatever, like 6 months and 9 months, depends on how much you drive. So we're probably going to want to look at that. So they're basically creating crisis in you that, oh fuck, this is going to give up soon. And then you know what, you got a slight a leak on your engine, and it's not really leaking yet, but it's on the verge of being able to leak. When it leaks, you're probably okay for a little while, but eventually the leak is going to get bigger, and then you're going to need to fix that. And then your tire pressure, and they just it's like crisis thinking. I don't know if that's the right terminology or not, but it's like, okay, we're going to panic you because you're going to have to sit. Like they list all these things, and invariably you're like, well, how much does that cost? How much does that cost? How much does that cost? So now I've got like a $10,000 bill for my car for things that I probably don't need to change anytime soon.
See, those are, I mean, those are all
It's
physical things, but yeah, as soon as you say, well, it doesn't seem to be running the way it normally should. So, then they plug in the little computer and they'll say, oh, your O2 sensor is faulty or whatever, your module or whatever it is that it picks up. But God forbid, back in the old days, you open up the hood, you heard, it was knocking or if it was doing something and they could fix it, the timing or whatnot. Nowadays, everything's electronic. So as soon as you walk in the door, bang, you get a charge right away just to plug this stupid thing in. You think like you were sitting in a cab or something. As soon as the cab comes in, here, was it $5, $10? I can't remember now. As soon as you sit in the cab, you haven't even gone anywhere yet. And it's just like there. You go to the garage. Okay, we're going to plug this in. Oh, there's a charge right there. And then it's like, oh, we'll get this part in. Well, okay, what's that going to cost? Then it's like, well, how long is it going to take you in to get it in? And that's another God knows how long, right? So
yeah,
now what do you do? You just keep driving your vehicle. Hopefully it'll still run okay until you come back. Or if you're lucky enough to, if they're kind enough to tell you what it is, and you can kind of go to, auto place and get the part yourself and put it in versus, the amount of labor that they charge just to change, something. It's ridiculous.
yeah. Well, don't forget there's also the Trump tariff to pay for car parts too, right?
Yeah,
So,
I don't know.
that's going to be a factor.
Well, from one day to the next, I don't know what's going on with tariffs. It's like they call him Taco Trump now, apparently.
Well,
It keeps
I heard
changing.
that today. I didn't even
All
know.
the memes,
They're
they're,
like,
they're pretty
Taco, what
funny.
the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
And Sylvie told me, and Jesus,
When they told him
pissed
about it,
myself
he wasn't
laughing. I said,
impressed. Yeah.
yeah, that's brilliant. Brilliant. So I'm just gonna ask Tony real quick here because he wants you to watch something. So which trailer, Tony? Like the newest? Hey, and hold on, look, BS Raps is in the chat. Hey, BS. Let's see what's okay. I'm just gonna go to YouTube. I'm not gonna tell you what the trailer is, Todd. I'm just gonna show it to you.
Okay.
So, Tony, which one am I showing? Like the brand new one? We're gonna get Todd's man on the street opinion. So I'll try to find 2 weeks ago, I think is the newest one. Okay. I'm just gonna queue it up here.
It's a movie trailer?
Yep. I'm just gonna play it until there we go from there. All right. All right, Tony, we're gonna get Todd's opinion of this thing.
Okay.
Man on the street, the guy who's probably not gonna watch this trailer, probably not gonna watch this movie at all. Let's see, share. I gotta share my screen. We'll share this one. Optimize your sound. All right, can you see my screen, Todd?
Yep.
Oh, I guess I should have maybe not showing you the bottom. Okay, here we go. Oh,
Yeah. You'd let me interview you as Superman.
Sure.
Ready?
Let's do it, Cronkite.
Superman.
Miss Lane.
Recently, you've come under a lot of fire for
I don't
what
know if
some
it's a
might.
lot of fire,
It's
but-
a lot. Today, the Secretary of Defense said he was going to look into your actions. That's funny?
My actions? I stopped a war.
Maybe.
Not maybe. I did.
In effect, you illegally entered a country.
This is how you're gonna be?
I'm not the one being interviewed, Superman. Did you consult with the president?
No.
You seemingly acting as a representative of
I
the
wasn't
United States
representing
will
anybody
cause more
except for me.
problems around the world.
And doing good.
I would question myself in the same situation and consider the consequences.
People were going to die. Hey, buddy. Eyes up here.
Your choices. Your actions. That's what makes you who you are.
Superman. He's not a man. He's an it. He's somehow become the focal point of the entire world's conversation. I will not accept that.
I cleaned your boots. I'll go get them for you.
You have a dog?
all right.
Hmm.
What'd you think of that?
Now, when he says Lois, now originally Superman was even when we watched the very first Superman movie with
Yeah.
Christopher Reeves, okay?
Yeah.
What year was that? That was what? Early 80s, late 70s? I can't remember now.
Well, it's like 78, I think.
Okay, just before Star Wars came out, around that, around that time, I guess. Or no, Star Wars was
Mhm.
what, 77? I can't remember. But anyway, um, but even in that time, didn't it portray an earlier time?
In that one, yeah, because it started when
50s or
when he
60s?
lands as a little baby. He looks like Troy up the road.
Right.
His mom would say, "That's Troy Woodrow." And then you see him as a teenager, and then and then it goes from there to he's in Metropolis getting a job at the Daily Planet. That's how that one went.
Okay, now what year was it when he received the job at the Daily Planet?
That's a good question because it kind of cuts from like him leaving Smallville. I just rewatched it very recently. So he leaves Smallville. Um, he kind of goes to the Fortress of Solitude, and he spends I don't know how long it is. I'm assuming years. The Fortress of Solitude, maybe when he was 18 or something, maybe something like that. Then he talks to Jarrell because he's got all these crystals and stuff, and he spends a few years kind of learning shit at the Fortress of Solitude, and then he goes to Metropolis.
Okay, so
So he's like probably 20, mid 20s or early 20s or something, I'm guessing.
okay, but what was the year? 19 what?
Oh,
Like
like in the comp,
what,
like it was
what were they,
78.
what were they portraying? Were they portraying about 78 or so?
I'm assuming it was considered to be modern time at the time.
Okay. So if you took, say, Archie and Jughead, Veronica, Betty.
It always goes back to Archie and Jughead. But go
Okay.
on.
So if you take when we were reading comics, late 70s, early 80s,
Yep.
there was a certain they didn't have cell phones, they didn't have all this other stuff. But fast forward to now, they're the same people, the same age, at the same place, but everything's been
Mm,
modernized. Maybe
yes.
maybe not as jalopy, but I don't even know.
The jalopy.
Maybe he doesn't have the jalopy anymore. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm thinking when I'm watching the Superman trailer, I'm going, okay, what year does this represent? And when he's talking about the war, is he talking about a modern war of today, or is he talking about a war from the past? Is this a new war that he's got himself into?
I think this is probably just a war that's happening in the comic world because of shit that's going on. I'm assuming that's all it is.
So there's no real date, there's no real reality trying to, because I mean, a lot of times they'll try and put some reality with some of the fiction together just to kind of make it a little more,
Sure.
a little more believable, but a little more, just like when they did the Batman one where he didn't have the superhero stuff, all he had were these gadgets that he would use that would kind of give him the same kind of, he wouldn't be flying through the air, but he'd have like a grapple or something that was actually, you could say, that's kind of half-ass believable. I mean, and
Yeah.
he's up in the Alps and mountains talking to the monks or doing whatever he was, type of thing. Anyway, I don't know where I
Nope.
was going with that, but yeah.
I just want to let BS know that he now has to do a Superman rap. He has to get come up with a new jam for some Superman rap shit. And by the way, since BS is in the chat room, I do want to let you know that I was driving home and I had my liked music saved on my phone, and I always hit random and sing along to whatever the hell is going on. I was rapping along with BS raps on the drive home, failing miserably at it, but still rapping with BS.
There you go.
Um, I don't like. I think there's like this might be like if we had Gregory Chomachuk on again, this might be. I should actually write this down. How do you explain timelines in comic books? Because someone once said that there was a timeline like for Marvel comics that like several years of comic time was several months of real time in the comic. So if it was 3 years that happened in comic books, it was probably like 3 years was like 3 months. So Peter just went from March, April, May, but we spent like 3 years in the comic books, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I guess all of them were like that,
Yeah.
pretty much.
So what do you think of the trailer though? So like did it look appealing?
Yeah, it looked pretty good. I mean, honestly, other than Netflix, I haven't really been watching a whole lot of like regular movies, We call them
Yep.
regular. I've been watching more series. I guess when I was, well, say 20 years ago, back when, was it 20 years ago? Maybe even longer than that. When we used to have video stores, remember? We used to have
Hmm.
video stores. They'd have, Tuesday, they'd have a special two for
Oh
whatever.
yeah. Yep.
And then you brought the DVD home, and then,
Or the VHS, depending on when that was exactly.
yeah, like in the later years, just before they, changed everything, where if you wanted to, you could bring the disc home, and if you had the right software, you could rip the disc, and then you could just say, you know what,
Wait a minute. Are you indicating that people used to rent movies and copy them? I do not believe you.
and then watch them
And
on
you
the
would
week.
never do something like that. I mean,
Oh
that's
no,
not your
no,
not
no,
your style.
no, but but then you'd have it for the weekend type of thing, so that you
Yeah.
didn't have to
So
wait for the
you'd
week.
rent like a whole shit ton so you
Well,
could, watch whenever you wanted.
get a better price on Tuesday because no one was renting on Tuesday. They were all renting on Friday and Saturday and
Yeah.
possibly Sunday. So Tuesday was like, okay, you can get two for the price of one, or rent two get one free. I can't remember how it all went, but yeah, if you did that and if you wanted to burn them all, just you could watch them on the weekend. I mean, it was a whole different thing back then. Nowadays, everything's digital.
A little bit of BS playing in the background. I don't know if you can hear it or not.
Okay, I thought I could hear something.
There we go. Oh yeah, so that's interesting because Sylvia was trying to educate my kids on what Blockbuster was all about, and then because Sylvia was spoiled because she lived in a city, unlike us.
Right.
But do you remember the hoops we had to jump through living in Shediac to rent a movie? It was not as straightforward as it was when we moved to Winnipeg.
Well, in Shediac, it was a small town. I mean, you were lucky if you went to we'd have to go to the gas station or to rent a movie. Like they didn't have actual physical rental stores, and this was in the VHS days.
Yeah,
So I
but I
mean,
remember it would only be like, I don't know, where the hell did we rent movies? Do you even remember? I it was downtown Shediac somewhere, wasn't it?
I can't remember. Downtown Shediac, sometimes, I mean, the gas stations, I think, sometimes would get involved with
And they
rent.
would have like a dozen or 15 movies or something, like something really small.
Yeah.
But I
Or
remember,
Be
like,
Quiet,
for us,
Wind and Rewind. Like you had the little
oh
sticker
yeah,
they
be
put
kind
on.
of, see, for us, we went to the one place. I can't remember what the name of the place was, but there was like it's like the wall behind me, and that was it. That's all they had. It wasn't very much. And I remember it was going to just be the top movies of the day. Nothing really cool. But then every once in a while, Richard's dad, Ed, like, hey guys, take a ride to Moncton. Actually, probably more like, hey guys, you guys want to go to Moncton? We'll go to Moncton. We'll go to Midnight Video. Do you remember Midnight Video?
No, I'd never been there.
You never went to Midnight Video, Todd?
No.
Oh my God. So how long did it take us to drive to Moncton? For me as a kid, it felt like 2 hours, but what was the actual length of time it took us to drive to Moncton?
I would say it's probably a half hour, maybe.
Half hour?
But
Okay.
when you're younger, time
It,
just
it sure it sure felt longer
drag
as a kid.
drags on. Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
But it wasn't even like when you went into Moncton. Like we had to drive through Moncton to the other end or whatever. Because I remember it being further than just Moncton. Maybe it was outside of Moncton. I don't know.
It depends on where you wanted to go. Like if you wanted to go to Uncle Paul's, or if you wanted to go to Mampapez and Riverview, or if you want to go to Dieppe, to go to Uncle Ronnie's. Like it just depends on where you wanted to go. And it was kind of Moncton, but it was kind of the surrounding area.
So I can't believe you don't remember this place. So this was the place. This was the place where they had stuff. Like they had all the mainstream shit like the main shit, like like all the terms of endearment or One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Like they have like mainstream movies, right? But
Right.
then they also had sections that was like different stuff, like The Toxic Avenger and Delta Force, and Chuck Norris movies and
Yeah.
and
Van Damme movies.
Shokushugi movies, the ninja movies and shit.
Yeah.
But it was at Midnight Video where, because I used to collect this magazine. I can't remember what the fuck it was called. It was a magazine about comic books, right? And they'd always talk about these movies in there that you could never ever find at a video store. So at Midnight Video, we went there and we found I think it's 1978, could be wrong, the 1978 Doctor Strange movie they had there. They also had the Incredible Hulk TV show episodes there. They also had the Captain America 1970s TV show episodes there. You could actually find shit you couldn't find in a mainstream store. Like they had a lot of really like B movie shit, Clash of the Titans, with the not claymation, but the stop motion animation stuff. And
Yeah.
oh my God.
Yeah. You had to pick and choose your movies. It wasn't like you walked in and it was a wall to wall movies. Like
Yeah.
in the later, and they'd have to replace them with the newer movies, and they'd have like 20 boxes just for one movie, if it was super popular, because
Yeah,
they know
yeah.
how to make their money out of it for sure.
See, I think that's why like later there was Blockbuster and stores like that were starting to bring in some really weird stuff. And there was always, the room behind the curtain too. There was always that room.
It was a different store, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was well, no, they would have a section behind the curtain for that kind of.
Blockbuster?
Well, not Blockbuster, no, but like the Midnight Video had.
Oh,
And
okay.
of course, we're there with Ed, and Ed's, looking at stuff and whatever. It's Richard's dad.
Behind the curtain.
And Richard, fucking pervert, that guy was the biggest pervert, but you never knew. Like everyone, oh, poor guy, because he was in a wheelchair, right? So people, this poor kid, blah, blah, blah. We always took advantage of that. Like, like Richard's like I think to go like there was a like through the curtain. If you go through the curtain, I think the bathroom was like kind of beyond there, but it
Oh,
wasn't open to the public.
right.
And I'm pretty sure one time Richard's like, I really gotta go, or in French, I really gotta go pee.
Yeah.
Oh, you poor boy. You know what? Just go through the curtains there. I
Don't
said, well,
stop.
I have to go with it because I would have to help him go to the bathroom and stuff. That was one of the things I had to do, right? So I'm
Right.
like, okay, I have to go with him because he can't go by himself. Oh, no, for sure, for sure. We'd go in there, go behind the curtain and watch all the dirty movies are here. We're like, oh my God. And then invariably we would try to like grab one that didn't look too overtly dirty.
Right.
And then we'd have a stack. We'd have like Captain America, Doctor Strange,
Right.
whatever. And then the other movie at the bottom, and we'd hand that to Ed so he could go rent it
Right.
to try to get that dirty movie in there.
Did it work?
Oh, no, you can't. You can take this one. So he let us take Porky's and, a few like that. Like,
Right. They had some gratuitous nude scenes, but nothing, X-rated.
Yeah. Hey, Todd, guess who's in the chat?
I don't know.
Evan.
'Cause I can't
Evan
see.
from Evan, who we met at KeyCon.
Oh, sweet. Howdy. Yeah.
Howdy.
Right on. Right on.
I like the background music here. I don't know if you can hear it, but I'm really digging this.
Yeah, I can barely hear it, but yeah, it's there for sure.
I think I want to put on. Hey, Evan, do we? What's the name of your surf band? I want to put this playing in the background. Tony, yeah, I'm sure Ginger Lynn wasn't ever in a Doctor Strange or Captain America movie, but I didn't know that.
How old is she now?
Jesus Christ,
Probably
I
what,
don't know.
60s, mid-60s.
As a kid, I'm like, she'd be the best girlfriend ever.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Oh God,
for reasons.
So
So,
concepts of anything.
so did you want to talk about KeyCon at all?
I guess we could.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess we could.
A little bit of what we saw and what we did, and
Yeah. Well, you start.
Well,
Oh wait, well, what is KeyCon for those in the room who don't know what's going on? Because Tony probably has no clue, and I'm sure Danielle doesn't either.
yeah,
Maybe just a brief. What is it?
it's kind of a
Oh,
sci-fi.
she's 62, by the way.
62.
Jerlyn is 62.
Wow, I haven't seen a current picture.
Anyway, so what's KeyCon?
It's kind of a sci-fi convention. It's not. I've never been to KeyCon or Comic-Con, so I'm not too sure what kind of layout that is. I think that's more of a commercialized, where this is more of a personal touch, little smaller convention. They've got theme rooms where, on a certain floor that you can go to. The one that we hung out was kind of the retro video game room, which had a bunch of, like, from regular NES or ColecoVision to, N64s, like all the older Sega Genesis stuff. Then there was another room which was kind of like Japanese movies. I can't remember the.
Yeah.
And then the back room,
Godzilla.
they also had video games back there that people were playing. So the one night we spent doing the video games. Second night we hung out in the karaoke room, and Doc was singing, and he was singing "Simple Man," and boy, that just blew me away. That was kind of like the thing that stuck with me the most, because I didn't realize he was a singer, and then when I heard him singing,
It's funny that you didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that at all. It was like it took me back. I was like, holy crap!
He used to do like Facebook nights where he'd go live and just sing.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah, all the time.
Okay, well, I never really checked that out, but
he used to be in a metal band, and he had long fucking hair.
Oh boy!
I saw a picture of it. I'm like, holy shit! So he was a metal guy.
Oh yeah, he was saying he's a singer, and I went, oh okay, well, I didn't realize that. So when you go look so if you look him up on Facebook, if you look under his information, I think it does say he's a singer. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, he's pretty good, eh?
Yeah,
my vocal performance it was pretty bad.
No, I didn't recognize. There was a lot of songs I didn't recognize what you were singing, so I couldn't really follow along what it was. But yeah, that was a pretty cool room.
I don't understand. Like, okay, hang on. Now I got to play the song so you can hear it. Oh, excuse me. This was the song, right?
That what you sang?
Yeah.
A long ass fucking time ago in a town called Kickapoo, there lived a humble family, religious through and through. But yea, there was a black sheep, and it knew just what to do.
I sounded nothing like that.
Well, I didn't realize it was a Jack Black tune.
Yeah. Well, it was Jack Black with Ronnie James Dio and Meatloaf in not a duo, but a duet, but a triplet or whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
So because everybody was singing like show tunes and musicals, and I'm like, the only I don't really like musicals in general. Like, I'm very, very, very picky. But I do like the Pick of Destiny that Jack Black and Kyle Gass made, which was about Tenacious D.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'll pick a song from that. That's a musical. Tony's asking, so was there any Micronauts toys on display at KeyCon? No, there was no toys there.
No, there may have been. I mean, in the gaming room, they may have had something in there, but we didn't really check out the vendor that was in that particular room, or even one of the games. Who knows? Could have had those as pieces too.
In previous years, though, they would always have toy giveaways of some kind, but they were usually like something like anime or manga or whatever.
Well, if you look at the pictures,
wait, did you finish describing what KeyCon was? Or did we Albuquerque there?
We kind of get halfway, but oh, geez, there's just there's so much to it. It's There was a room where they had, I mean, they had authors in there. They had people making stuff that you
Yes.
could purchase. They had some headgear and stuff they were making. One year they had a person who had chainmail armor that they were making.
Mm, yeah. How to
Um,
make chainmail at home.
they had sword fights there one year where they
Yeah.
had some people
Whatever
that came
happened to
out
that?
and did that. I don't know, kind of looked kind of dangerous. Maybe they didn't really want people to be swinging swords around at KeyCon, but
That was fun though, right? Remember when they did that and everybody had their armor on, they had the big swords and axes and shit. They were kind of foam wrapped around something hard, and they were
yeah,
just whacking each other, and it was like it was real combat.
I think they were actual swords, but they wrapped them up so they didn't have
Yeah, yeah.
they didn't injure
They got to
themselves.
bring they got to bring that back. Like that was fucking cool as hell.
Yeah, so they had a bunch of theme rooms. They had a music room. We didn't check that one out because we were hanging out in some of the other ones. Sometimes we just hanging out in the room and just play a tabletop game there. I just have a bunch of people in the room, and then they have a masquerade. They'd have people that would dress up as whatever they wanted to be. They had if you wanted to be someone from Star Wars or RoboCop or uh, whatever, just dress up. They had furries there, which are, I guess, people who dress up like animals with tails, and some of them had like full costumes, which was probably really, really hot. And the other big thing they had, and that's what I look forward to every year, is the pinball machine. So they had four
Oh
pinball
yeah,
machines this year. One was Jaws again, and then they
which is
had,
good. That's a great one. That's a
that
really great one.
was a good one. They had Keanu Reeves. What's his whole
John Wick.
John Wick, and they had a couple other ones there. I can't remember what they were, but yeah, there was a couple of pinball machines
There
that
was a
were
Dungeons
fun to
and
play.
Dragons one I think was pretty good, right?
That one I didn't try. That one was everybody was playing that one. I just kind of went to the Jaws and the John Wick were both the only ones that were kind of available. But they had
Yeah.
competitions, and if you looked on the KeyCon Facebook page with the pictures, I think they had a competition there, so they were showing some of the toys that they were giving away. So there was stuff there
Oh yeah.
they had. So
Just not as much as in past years, I guess. But I think they were still trying to get their footing. From the
yeah.
year before was not didn't do very well.
Well, I mean,
But
COVID
this year
hit.
the number, yeah.
Yeah, and
Well, they had COVID hit and they had a canceled year because
yeah,
they just couldn't do it in time. There was, I mean, there's been a lot of deaths in the Keycon community over
yeah,
the last 5 years, like since COVID and stuff. Like I think there's been some COVID deaths and a
yeah,
bunch of shit like that. So I think they had one year where they just said, "Fuck it, we can't do it. It's
yeah,
too heavy and it's a grind like to run Keycon. Like it's not, you know,
yeah. And
it's
last
not
year
easy.
was the very first year at this new at the Hilton. So
Yeah,
this was the second year, so it kind of ramped up a bit. They've got panels where they got authors talking about their books. We went to one where they were talking about 3D printers. So if you had any
that was
questions
cool. Now
uh,
that was cool.
on that too, so there was something for everybody. Yeah, they had a bunch of panels. I think Doc had one where they were talking about next year's KeyCon because I think he was going to be heading that one
He's
up.
running it with that Sean guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got some big plans, so it'll be interesting to see next year how this all progresses.
Now I have a question for you about next year.
Okay.
Do you think this will be the first year where KeyCon reaches out to us to ask us to be part of it? Probably not.
I don't not us, not unless it's someone who knows us and what we do, and if they're trying to fill slots, but I don't know.
I don't
We've
know. Just the
we've done it.
like last year's panel that we ran was. I mean, don't get me wrong. I had fun running the panel.
Mhm.
I had fun with who was in the audience.
Yeah.
But we went from two people in the audience to. Do you remember that year where I had to run out halfway through the panel because I thought someone was breaking into my house? Like that was a full audience and we had full participation. And I mean, we were feeding off the audience. Like we didn't even have to have anything prepared barely,
No, well,
and
pretty
it was
much.
just, it was so much fun.
That's pretty much our podcast.
Yeah.
We just drum it up as we go. But yeah, that was probably the most successful one. But don't forget, location, location, location. This was where everybody was walking by and you could see the sign and people walking in. Whereas when we were a couple of years back when we went, we were like on a fourth floor in a conference room in the back area. Like no one really, I mean, unless you specifically went to that one, you wouldn't know that it was there. Whereas in what was the place we went to last time? The first place that was
Radisson.
Radisson. Yeah, the Radisson was
Radisson Hotel.
more. I think the layout was a lot better. The rooms were a lot bigger, so you could do a lot more things
The
in it.
layout. The
Now,
layout. That was key.
now, are they planning on ever going back to that? Is there a particular reason why they stopped? Did they think that, well, let's try a new venue just for whatever reason? But because
Well,
the venue is
okay,
more expensive and the rooms are
so
small.
in the past, they were at the Radisson, right?
Right.
And then they took a year off from that and they did the Delta downtown, like kind of right by Elephant Castle there. They had it there. And then they went, I don't know if they did a year there or 2 years there. I don't remember exactly. But then they went back to the Radisson. So it's like the Radisson treated them well, I guess, gave them a good price on
Right.
it. Um,
That's the only one I've ever been to is a Radisson prior to.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's the only one I've been to as well. But see, the thing is with repetition, and you go to the same place every year, everybody knows where everything is. Everybody knows that the fifth floor was where you went,
Right.
and everybody knew what the rooms looked like in the fifth floor. So when you're planning to have a themed room on the theme room,
Right.
they know what to do. They know how big the room is. They know
Exactly.
what they can and cannot do. They know how to plan. They know how to set everything up. They know where to put the signage to get people to come to your themed room.
Right.
And for those that don't know what KeyCon is, they have one floor where there's a bunch of rooms rented out, and then people will put a theme room together. So in past years, when it was at the Radisson, when KeyCon was at the Radisson, they had one room that was done up like a pirate ship, like the inside of a pirate ship. They had another room that was set up to look like
Back to the
Star Trek,
Future.
or yeah, a room set up as Back to the Future. They had a room set up as a bar from Serenity. They had, like various rooms, and they were decked out, man. People would spend so much money to get the room decked out to look really, really good. Now, when I was going years before Todd was going, they people went all out on this shit. Like it was nuts. Because you would go into, like, the short flank was my favorite place, and the even the seating in the room looked like it would be in a pirate ship. Like everything, like it was just so, as authentic as they could be. And they would always have giveaways, and they would have free alcohol in the room. And of course, well, in a pirate ship, what the hell are you going to drink? Well, god damn it, it's going to be rum. Like everything was just like but what I'm finding is that the cost of renting a room is very expensive, but at the Radisson, at least the rooms were cheaper. So people would rent the room and then they would go all out, and 4 or 5 people would put the room together and spend the money to put the room together. But the Radisson would let them do that. But I know there's limitations. So
Not to sound. I mean, back in the day, the people who went were probably like in their 20s or teens or beyond, and it
fair.
was a big party, right? And
Yeah.
as time went on, those people had kids, and it was like, well, let's make it kid friendly. And don't get me wrong, it's funny and everything, but from what I'm gathering is as soon as the kids got involved, some stuff kind of dropped. It wasn't the same thing.
I'm
It's
going
like
to tell you, I'm going to tell you something with what you're saying there specifically.
it's like
Evan, Evan, so Evan, who's in the chat, I'm assuming he's still in the chat. If Evan had been to those KeyCons, he'd still be there right now. He wouldn't have got out.
right. Yeah.
Like, oh shit, Chaz Charles just showed up. Oh boy. How you doing, bro? Um, yeah, but I mean, back in those days, man, it was batshit crazy. Like the first year, like I've told this story before. I'll just tell an abbreviated version. But when I went there, I didn't know anything about fan stuff. Like I was a fan of things, but I didn't know what the communities were like. So I went to one room and they were cosplaying. They were playing Vampire the Masquerade and Chad, Chad, what the fuck are you talking about, Chaz? I know some girls who like to party at the Radisson. Okay, I did too. But I went in this room and people were cosplaying. And when I say cosplaying, not cosplaying, what's LARPing, live action role playing, and they were playing Vampire the Masquerade, which is where you live action role play pretending to be vampires. And the idea was they were vampires pretending to be humans, pretending to be vampires at a convention. Did you get all that? So I go in this room, and next thing you know, this guy's been stalks me all weekend. He's got this big fucking sword on his back, so big that he can't even put it in the fucking scabbard. So he's got to hold it as he's walking the whole time because it's bigger than he is almost. And he's stalking me all weekend. Every time he sees me, because I remember I was in like remember where you get the two floors with the stairway that goes.
Yeah.
I was down at the bottom and he sees me from the top and he sees me and he starts running down the stairs holding his sword. I'm like, fuck. I run into the elevator. Ding, 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 ding. Like trying to get the close and it closes. And then he's chasing me all weekend, but I didn't know what LARPing was. And then later that weekend, somebody so they had what they called the slave auction, where you could go to the short plank or whatever the pirate room was called, and you could actually pay the room some money. And what they would do is they would put a hit on you, they put a bounty on you.
Oh god.
So people from the short plank would have to go find you, collect you, bring you back to the pirate room, put you in the cell they had there, and you could not be released from the cell until someone paid your bounty. So if someone paid their bounty, they bought you and you became their slave. Totally not appropriate, obviously. Like nowadays, so they had consent words and stuff and whatever. So I got bought by some painter who wanted to paint mermaids. So she was looking for two guys that looked just the way she wanted them to look, so she could do a painting. And they sold the painting of me as a fucking mermaid, and this other guy's a mermaid. And I had to, sit there with my shirt off, crazy, and she's painting, like there was weird shit like that going on all the time. Ocean was there, she was a porn star, and I guess she was filming her movies there. She rented a hotel room and she was picking people from KeyCon to bring to her room, and they
What?
would pay her money to have sex with her, and then she'd film it and then put it up on her, OnlyFans. They didn't have OnlyFans back then, but like it was like the fucking Wild West. But it was dangerous. People did get hurt during those times. So I think like that's the KeyCon that everyone kind of remembers. That's from 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
It was watered down by the time I got there.
Yeah, they had some people militarily trained that climbed up to the roof and rappelled off the side of the fucking Radisson to the pool level, came into they had the balcony on the pool level,
Right.
and they rappelled down to that level and then jumped in the pool. And the residents of the hotel that weren't part of this convention are in the pool, and there's all this sexual shenanigans going on in the pool. Like it was fucking crazy, man.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the kids showed up and then
Yep.
they watered it down to where it's more of it's definitely a sci-fi kid-friendly place. So it's almost like you have to have two versions if you want to separate it. But
I mean, the thing is, the kids started coming, which is, I can see people, wanting to get the kids into fandom and stuff, but then
Yep.
this was not really a kid friendly on. And then all of a sudden they're trying to make it kid for friendly, and it was just sort of like I don't know, shoehorning it into being something else, I guess.
Yeah.
Because they still wanted to go, and I can't get sitters for my kids. I got to bring my kids there all weekend, but I'm gonna find someone to look after my kids while I go get fucking drunk or whatever. Like I don't know. I mean, I still had a good time. Like it's tamer, but that's probably a good thing, I guess, in the end.
Yeah. Safer that way.
But yeah, there was some people that they weren't. No, didn't get you very far, and I mean, there were times where I had to say, like, no, I'm not fucking interested. Thank you very much. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. I'm like, I'm married. I'm sorry. No. Oh, come on. Like, like people would push a little bit too hard. So I don't know. But anyway, that's KeyCon. I hope Evan had a good time though. Yeah, Evan back in the old days, being a comic book artist, you know, comic book artists are considered like celebrities. So I don't know how that would have went. Um, so someone brought this up one of the podcast meetings, and they're like, we were starting talking about this one particular band, and I somehow it came up like if I like the band and how do you describe the band? And I said, you can't describe this band. There's no way to describe this band. And then I think somehow the conversation was like, well, what do you think Todd would think of them? And I'm like, I don't know. This is so far out of Todd's realm. But they said, well, wouldn't it be funny if you played it for him? So, man on the street.
Okay. Let's hear it.
So I'm not going to tell you what it is.
Okay.
I know BS Rap definitely
I'm not
knows
going to
who
look
this.
this time.
Well, I'm not going to share the screen. I'm actually just going to. I'm just going to play it. I got to pick a song. If I could only private chat with BS. Um, okay, Chaz, we will play that song right after. Trust me. We're gonna play this first, and I know Chaz knows this song too. Knows this band, so I think I'm gonna go with this one. So you just hold your hand when you want to talk about it. Okay, Todd?
Okay.
Sancho brought a message from the fat man. Sorry, boy, to leave you high and dry. But I went to see my mom in Ensenada, and I left a little something to help the time go by. Just a little something to help to keep you high. Bananas and blow. Bananas and blow. Bananas and blow. Stuck in my Quebec, living on bananas and blow.
Are you raising your hand?
Oh my God. Yeah. As soon as it started, it reminded me of Cockspur rum. Okay. I think it's a Jamaican rum. I bought some one time
I broke my chair.
for the
Hey,
for the fish for the fishing derby one year because I'd have
Okay.
rum and I think it was peach
Cocksure, you said?
Cockspur. It's a picture
Oh.
of a rooster. Yeah, so it came with a cassette. So if you bought it, now when you
Really?
buy a bottle, you can get it'll give you a little shot glass or something. So this here, you get a cassette. So it was Jamaican music, and it kind of sounded like that, right? And it was like, okay,
Yeah.
I was like, I don't think this guy's Jamaican. The guy's
I
saying,
know he's not. No, not.
so yeah, that's what kind of reminded me of. So it was like, oh, this is like a commercial promotion soundtrack or something or other. So this is kind of like a Weird Al spoof off type of song, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I don't. They're not really. They're not a. They're not like a spoof or a parody band at all. They're just really fucking weird. I'm trying to see if I can find another. Oh, this one. Well, this one's popular. I'll play this one. Same band.
Like a Japanese cowboy or a brother on skates, like a blizzard in Georgia or a train running late. I call out your name, girl, in the heat of the night, and nobody answers.
Danielle, they play a lot of this music in Alberta, do they not?
Breakfast at Shawnee's.
Oh my God. So instead of Jamaican, now they've gone country.
And it's so good. So all over the map. It is so fucking hilarious. So the name of the band, they're called Ween. And when when people have tried to describe what the fuck they are, like, you know, because this is rock, or this is alternative, or this is classic rock, or this is yacht rock, and they're like, Ween, they're Ween. Like, it's just no, they're just Ween.
They're just, yeah. You have
They're
to,
all over the fucking place.
yeah, it depends on what song you listen to. It could be country, it could be, do they have like a death metal one and one for classic rock? And
I'm sure they do. Yeah, they're great. I don't know. So what do you think? So this is, I think Ruby and Sam really wanted to know.
Oh my God. It's
So what's your thoughts?
this would be the type of music that you would have on in the background when you're having people over at a party. They wouldn't, because any other song you listen to, you know what it is, you can, go to the beat or whatnot. This would be something in the background where no one would really kind of pay attention to it. It would be there, kind of like elevator music. It's not bad. It's just weird, just different. I mean, and I don't usually listen to, and you know me, when growing up, I never really listened to the lyrics of songs. Plus, anything we listened to was on AM radio, and you couldn't make out what they were saying anyway. But but this here, I can I'm listening to the lyrics, and I'm going, this makes no sense whatsoever. But if I wasn't paying attention to them, it might be a different story.
All right, Chaz wants me to play Dean and the Weenies. So the main one that comes up, Chaz, a song called "Fuck You." So is this what we're going with? It's from Mondo, New York, original motion picture soundtrack. Also from Black Lips Bar, Androgynes and Deviants. So I don't know if this is what he wants me to play, but
now this is background music on a movie on a bar scene.
I'm guessing. Okay, let's play this and let's just see how crazy Chaz Charles is.
Okay. It's got the same vibe as the last band.
Certainly does. All right, before I get too far, he said play bingo. Oh, see? Okay, never mind. We're going to keep going because, of course, Evan knows who this band is.
like what I see. Your lack of character shows. I hate your clothes, and you've got something disgusting hanging out of your nose. Why are you talking to me? Please leave immediately. Where is your dignity? Please get away from me. Why don't you choke on a fashion accessory?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I really like it. It's fucking awesome.
I like the music, but it's like, well, he's not singing, first of all. But yeah, it's. If I were to rate the last band and this band,
Yeah.
I don't know. Just the lyrics in both are just like totally different than what the song you'd think would have.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna play another song from another band. This is gonna be a test on the people in the room. Todd will know this song right away. Todd, you're gonna pop for this song. You're totally gonna pop for this song. But I'm curious if Chaz is gonna get this. Evan will get this, I think. So are you ready? Okay, I'm going.
I know there's a lot of talk going around today about cigarette smoking whittling your life away. I've seen it and I've heard it so many times that finally it just started to prey on my mind. I guess it scared me a little bit. That's why I decided I was going to quit. So while I was sitting here forming my battle plan, I took another puff and turned on the fan. I just sat there in my easy chair and thought of all the money I'd wasted on cigarettes all these years. I thought how I'd spend the rest of my days after I kicked this habit my body craves. Said to myself, this ain't gonna be so tough. With that little bit of assurance, I took another puff. I took a puff, then I ripped off another puff. I decided I about had enough. That breaking this habit won't be too tough.
Okay. Does anybody know who that fucking is? Todd and I know. That had this record.
Yeah.
Does anybody in the chat know who the fuck what the fuck that was? I'm just curious. I know BS is already like, oh fuck, I gotta sample that song. But I'm just curious if anybody knows. So Todd, memories of this song without giving it away.
Memories of the song? Well, Dad had that console that we had that he played his bass through.
Yeah.
And this was after other songs from him that he would play. This was one of the ones that was in there that he would play, and it was funny. It was kind of like the funny song.
Oh God, it was so good.
Kind of like the Splish Splash, I was taking a bath version of, that he put on his album.
So Chaz got it. Chaz guessed it. Evan thought it might have been the Ghost Fires, but it was actually Jerry fucking Reed.
Yeah. Snowman.
Fucking
Snowman.
The Snowman from Smoking a Bandit.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Hey, Evan's playing the Bulldog on the 14th. What's the name of your band, dude? You gotta give us the name of your band. Oh, wait. Ghost Fires is the name of the band. Okay, well, hang on. Ghost Fires. Okay, am I gonna find Ghost Fires? Desiree Marginis? No, that can't be you guys. Is that? Let's see. Bandit Run. No, that's not them. Okay, dude. Am I gonna find you on streaming? I hope so. Ghost Fires. The Ghost Fires. Maybe that's better. The Ghost Fires. Oh, I can't find it. Evan, do you got a link you can send me? Because I really want to play your band on our show. Okay, we'll wait till he gets back. In the meantime, though, we're gonna embarrass the fuck out of Chaz Charles because we have that power. But Todd, tell me a story while I look this up.
Me a story. Well, speaking of Smoking the Bandit,
Oh yeah.
every once in a while, well, I've got an 81 Firebird. It's sitting in Mom's garage. It's been there for a while. All the body work was done. Dad had rebuilt the bottom end of the motor. And every time I used to take it out for drives, get the T roofs and everything. And then I'd have it hankering to watch Smoking the Bandit because it was
Oh yeah.
one of my favorite movies. I had in my bedroom, I had a black and white TV that had the rabbit ears and channel 2 or channel 7, and they played Smoking the Bandit one time, and I actually taped it, but I only had a tape recorder. We didn't have video recorder, right? So I taped the whole thing. So it, when they're, racing and talking to the sheriff and stuff, it's pretty cool. I think I probably still have the tape somewhere. I got to convert some of them because I got a whole schwack of them.
Okay, I'm gonna play this because I do love Chaz Charles. I think he's one of the great voices of podcasting. I really do. I might give him a hard time, and I know Corey gives him a hard time probably more than he should. But I think honestly, like all the work that he's doing is fucking awesome.
Mhm.
So kudos on all your podcasts. I try to listen to as much of it as I can. It's not always possible, but this is for you, sir. We're gonna play this song. It's one of Chaz's songs from one of his early bands. Oh my god, it's so fucking dirty.
Ooh, it's like 4-track recording.
Oh yeah. So Chaz and I had a conversation some time ago, and he chat like we were talking about like Todd. This is a conversation I have all the time about we gotta get our stuff out there. We need to put it out there. We need to have a chronicle, a history of things we've done, right?
Mhm.
And we talked about our grandfather and stuff, and he would record, him talking, over songs on the radio or taping the wrestling. It was always like there was always this chronicle that he had, and we've tried to do that as much as we can. And so Chaz and I were talking about it, and I can't remember how the conversation went exactly, but he was talking about this album that he had. It's crap quality in terms of like the recording. It's not like the original like it wasn't, but I'm like, you got to put it out because this is for your kids. This is for people that you're friends with. We just want to hear this fucking music. It's got to be out there. It's not gonna do any good. Your music, my music, his music to just have it in the closet,
Yeah, got to have it out there.
but you have it out there. And so the band is called The Usual Suspects. I think that's wait, The Usual Suspects, is that so? Chaz, is that the name of the album? Or is that the name of the band? Because it says Usual Suspects by the Screws. So is the Screws, is that the name of the band, or is Usual Suspects? I think Usual Suspects is the name of the band. But it there was a good ZZ Top vibe in that song. And that's Chaz on guitar. Chaz
Nice.
is a good fucking guitar player. Like he got the feel.
Oh yeah, for sure. The groove.
Oh, when he sent me this, I listened to this like in rotation there for a little bit because it's just the Screws is the band. Okay,
The singer
it's
had that Jimi Hendrix-ish style of singing.
now at the same time because of Chaz, I put up I gotta find it here. I put up Salty Bear online, some stuff because Chaz did it. And I'm like, fuck, like the challenge is up. Like we got to put our stuff up. So I grabbed a very select amount of songs and I put up our album. I'm just trying to actually see if I can pull the link.
Was I on these
Was I
songs?
on? Yeah,
Playing bass.
bass and guitar. So I'm just gonna play just for a second. Apparently, I have to activate my PayPal because someone's trying to pay me, I guess. Do. I'm trying to find one that has let's see. A folder called the best of. Oh, yeah, let's play this one. This total guitar.
Am I making it up as we went?
What's that?
Were we making it up as we were going?
This was live off the floor. It wasn't a song we'd written. We just started playing, and me and Dan started playing drums and bass. And then you were like, "Oh, what?" I remember you looking at us like, "Okay, I'll do something." And Dan's making up notes as he goes.
Spaced out for the drug slinger, thinks he can take her to the prom in the next century, but he can't even keep it at bay.
Okay, that's enough of that. Boy, oh boy.
I don't even remember that.
We were like, this was at your house on Ashworth? Is that the whatever that street was? Your old house.
Oh, yeah. Rosemount?
Yeah. You sound like Lumberg there.
Was it Rosemount? Something like that?
Yeah, I think so. You don't live there anymore, so if anyone wants to go knock on that door, I'm apologize to the people over there. But we recorded that in your basement. We played for like an hour and a half, and it was just playing like a lot of Den's greatest hits sort of thing. And then we played this song, and then you guys said, "Oh, let's switch instruments." So he grabbed the bass, and you had your guitar, and then he just started playing. And as Dan invariably, whenever most of the stuff Dan and I did, it was live off the floor. We didn't rehearse. It was just like Dan would start playing or I would start playing regardless. Like somebody started playing first. And then it's just like, okay, well, this is it. We're doing it.
Right.
We're just doing it. And we just did it. It was just, so then what we do is we record it every time. And every time we recorded something, we would take the music and then I would bring it back to my yellow ghetto blaster.
Yep.
If you remember my yellow ghetto blaster, and I would just go on there and I would just add the vocal after. Yeah, just tape to tape. It was a double deck. So play the bass and drums, or the guitar and drums, play it, and then sometimes you would add a bass line occasionally, and then sometimes we would do that and then record on the other one, then take the cassette back, play it again, add another blank cassette, and then record a vocal over top of that at the end. That's how we did it.
That was even before 4-track.
Well, yeah. I mean, the idea of having a 4-track, like,
yeah, and your
that
microphone
was,
the size of a pinhead, right? So you got to try and
yeah,
get
like,
quality sound out of that.
yeah, like we didn't have anything like that. So, it's like, I don't know. But
Yeah,
anyway.
fun.
So I put that album up, and that's it. I'm gonna see I think it's live. I think the album's live now. There it is, Salty Bear album. I don't know. People can listen and laugh all they want. Like, please feel free to laugh. You know, I understand this stuff is incredibly lo-fi. There you go, Chaz. It's in the chat. You can go take a listen. It's all lo-fi. Nothing's recorded in a studio of any kind. And it's stuff we were doing when we were like, what, 19, 20, 21 years old, or that's how old I was at the time.
Yeah.
Yep. Back in the days when we all had hair. Cheers to that.
Yep. Here's to hair.
Here's to hair.
Here today, gone tomorrow.
That was the name of my second album, Todd.
Mm-hmm.
Here today, gone tomorrow. Anyway, so I am gonna put up I'm also gonna put up songs in the key of McGinnity. I'm gonna put that up as well. That's the next thing I'm gonna do. But yeah. Anyway.
Okay.
So one thing I wanted to talk about, I don't know if I'm curious if Chaz is available to jump on this. If he'd want to come into the room to talk about this. This is something that popped up this week. And someone told me about this, and I had trouble working the entire fucking day. I was so fucking upset when I saw this. And I was like, I gotta share that. I gotta talk about this on the show. I gotta share it with Todd. I need Todd's opinion on this. I don't know if Charles is able to join us or not, but I'm going to I'm gonna bring it up with Todd. We're gonna talk about it, and then we'll see what Todd has to say, and then maybe if Chaz wants to jump on, then just send me a quick message, and I'll let you join us. But so, did you hear about what happened with SoundCloud?
No.
You're familiar with SoundCloud, right? What's SoundCloud?
When you have any type of audio you want to put up there for everyone to hear, that's a good place to put it. And then you just send someone a link and they can listen to it.
Yeah. So people put their podcasts up there. That's a common thing. And we used to host our podcast up there back in the old days, actually before you were on the show. And Ron from Manitoba Money Shot podcast, that's where he hosts his stuff. And anyway, so this is what came out. So there was a new terms and agreements. Every once in a while you'll get it from every fucking app on your phone, from every software you use. New terms and conditions. Please read, sign, and click the tick box, right? And agree to the terms and conditions. And it's one of those things, everyone's doing it. Most people don't read it, right? But then it's like, why do you have to keep changing your terms and conditions every 5 minutes? Like, I never really understood. I've never really understood it. Like, I don't.
Are they posturing themselves to own your stuff?
Well, this is what this originally what the agreement said is that. Now, I don't have the original. I wonder if I can find the original.
I haven't signed anything, so are they going to just pull my stuff off?
terms. Let me just see if I can find what they said. Uh, AI, because they changed their mind to what they said. Okay. And you know what? This is a letter from their CEO, so this should be good. So originally, the terms and conditions said something along the lines, which you can't find now because it's been pulled, was they said that all content on SoundCloud will be open for AI to use, whatever that means. So anything that you and I have up there, any music we have, because we have all of our music on SoundCloud. Most of our music is available on SoundCloud. I use that as kind of sort of a home base to have our music available, right? So they basically said that if you have your music up there, we're going to use this to generate AI, like to use it to feed the AI machine. So meaning that any music you have up there, they're going to be able to create a sample. So you say, I want to write a song that, so I want to write a song in quotation marks that incorporates this and that style, and um basically, Evan, if you want to join us to talk about this, you're free to. I don't think Chaz can, but if you want to, just send me a note and I'll send you a link from somewhere. Just give me an email, I can send it to you. But so basically, like if you got music up there and someone types in something in their AI, it's going to look at your music, sir, my music, sir, all of our music, and we're going to take a sample from that and a sample from that to generate a song that you wrote using stuff that we've already put out there as the basis to feed the AI machine.
They want it for free.
Yeah. I mean, music, we already don't fucking get paid as it is as musicians. We don't. The only person that gets paid for music is Spotify and the streaming services. They're the only ones that get paid in these deals, or the people like Joe Rogan that broker a deal with the platform and get paid a set salary for the year for hosting their stuff exclusively there. It's only the big leaguers that get paid by the streaming services because they negotiate deals with them. Meanwhile, Spotify changed the terms and services that said, yeah, but you need to release material every so many months or every so many weeks, and you need to release so many songs after so many months. Otherwise, we're not going to pay you. If you're not generating enough content, we're not going to pay you for how many streams you get. You have to have a certain number of streams, and they have to be consistent, and they have to follow, a pattern. And if you're not following the pattern, we're just not going to pay you at all for anybody that streams your music. Like everyone just keeps changing the fucking terms and shit, right?
Right.
So it's annoying and it's frustrating that we're already not getting paid for our music being out there. And yes, I play music on our show, but it's like, and I keep getting letters from Spotify saying I'm ripping people off, and I'm like, it's kind of ironic that Spotify is telling me that we're ripping people off when Spotify's model is to rip people off, but whatever. So anyway, so now there's a clarification from the CEO after everyone started, throwing arrows at them. And this is what they said to our artist community. Over the past few days, there's been a lot of conversation about our 2024 terms of use update, which was intended to clarify how content may interact with AI technologies within SoundCloud's own platform. I want to take a moment to speak directly to you, our artist community, fuck you, about what's true, what's not, and what we're doing next. First, let's be clear. SoundCloud has never used artist content to train AI models, not for music creation, not for large language models, not for anything that tries to mimic or replace your work, period. We don't build generative AI tools, and we don't allow third parties to scrape or use artist content from SoundCloud to train them either. In fact, we've already put protections in place like a no AI tag that explicitly signals content on SoundCloud can't be used for AI training. At SoundCloud, protecting artists' rights isn't new for us. And being artist first isn't a slogan. It's core to who we are and always will be. It's in our DNA.
Wow.
So then it says, well, what happened back in February 2024? We updated our terms of use to clarify how we may use AI internally to improve the platform for both artists and fans. This includes powering smarter recommendations, search playlisting, content tagging, and tools that help prevent fraud. Our use of AI is focused on discovery, helping fans find new music and helping artists grow, starting with their so what blah blah blah. It goes on and on. Basically, it's saying we're using AI to make things better here for everyone. We're not selling anything off this site.
Well, they're saying that, but yeah.
But I don't like the thing is maybe they're telling the truth. I don't know.
You never know. You never
But
know.
at the
It's all
same time, I don't.
legalities, cover your ass words.
Well, I don't trust anybody now, right?
Right.
But I've been getting these not cease and desist, but these letters from Spotify every week. I get multiple
What?
emails from Spotify saying you've illegally used music.
You
But
paying for
I'm
it?
gonna. What's that?
You're paying for Spotify, aren't you?
No, I'm paying for YouTube Music,
Okay.
but our podcast shows up on multiple platforms. So when it shows up on their platforms, hey, wait a minute now. But here's the thing about Spotify. So I thought about shifting to Spotify. I mean, I've always, every year I'm looking at, we're with Captivate right now. We've been with SoundCloud in the past. We've been with Podbean. We've been with Podomatic. So every year I'm always looking at, okay, what's the best option for our show? What's the best host? What offers the best services? Um, and what I found was that I was looking at Spotify for a brief period, like, okay, like what do you guys offer? Like, what do you have? So one of the things they said is that you can use any song within the Spotify catalog for your show. You can insert any song anywhere at any time in your show.
Mhm.
So I'm like, well, that's kind of good, because I was worried about getting our shows taken off the air. And I looked at it, but it said, but your podcast cannot play on any other streaming platform. So if you're using Apple Podcasts to listen to your podcast, or if you're using Podbean to listen to your podcast, or any other app to listen to podcasts, my podcast will never be available on any other app but theirs. What the fuck's that about?
Doesn't seem to be fair.
But here's the thing is they were allowing me for free to use all of the music on Spotify for free on our show. Now, as a musician, we never agreed to let our music be used by any other podcast. But they're gonna say that Dome can be used on anyone's podcast on Spotify if you're exclusively a podcast on Spotify. I never agreed to that. Did you agree to that? Did you get a letter?
No, I didn't sign nothing. I checked mark nothing.
So they're basically complaining that we're ripping them off. We're not ripping anybody off. When we played Ween earlier. The whole point of playing Ween was, hey, Todd's never heard Ween before. I think I want you to hear Ween. So based on what you tonight, you're like, fuck, I like Ween. Maybe I'm gonna go buy an album. Maybe I'll go buy a digital download of their album. All we're doing is opening people's ears to hearing new music. We're not ripping anybody off. We don't make money off this podcast. Let's be honest. The only person ripping anybody off are the streaming services themselves. So if we're ripping them off, who fucking cares? Because they're like, if they're charging $10 a month for their service and someone plays hundreds of hours through the app, how is that paying for anything? So I feel like I'm ripping off the streaming services, but who gives a fuck about that? The artist isn't getting paid anyway But I'm hoping that by playing music on our show, that people will go see them when they come to town and pay money for a ticket that goes directly to the band, buy merch that goes directly to the band, like the money goes directly to the band, to buy swag, to buy whatever, to support the band directly as opposed to indirectly through a streaming service, because none of those bands make money off streaming.
Right.
Okay, I'm off my soapbox. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. I think we
That might be a
like
good place to end
7,
it.
8, 9. Yeah, like 2 hours. Yeah.
Holy shit, was it 2 hours?
Yeah. 7:30.
Okay, well, before we sign off, I do want to say I want to thank everyone in the chat. Thank you all for showing up. Appreciate you guys showing up.
Yeah, thanks for
Or
showing
it's
up.
yeah, it's a little more entertaining when we got some engagement
Mhm.
live while we're doing it, as opposed to me in my dark basement and Todd in his dark bedroom slinging back Black Russians. I'm slinging back Bareface. We sound like, two hermits, but we feel less hermity now. But thank you all for showing up. Chaz, please get in touch with me because we gotta maybe have you back on. Maybe me or Todd gotta go on one of your shows or something. We're overdue for another crossover event. So set it up, please. I would like to. I mean, Chaz is fucking great.
Yeah.
Never a bad word to say about Chaz. And secondly, Evan, please send me an email because apparently I've lost yours. Please send me an email because we gotta do a hookup here. Got to get you on the show. You were a very interesting person, very great artist, and your background in music, I think, would make for a really great episode. So please email me to the email that I sent you off my little business card that I gave you because I don't know how to get in touch with you. I've tried, but I don't know what channels to go through to get a hold of you. So please reach out. We want you on the show. Very interesting person. Thank you, Danielle, for being our number one fan. Number one fan. You keep showing up on the Facebook as the number one fan, so thank you very much. And I want to thank all our patrons who pay us a little fee every month to keep this show on the air, keep the lights on, even though my lights are off right now. And where do you find us, Todd?
You can find us on SeanMcGinnity.ca. That's SeanMcGinnity.ca.
And all social media at Sean Geek Podcast. We're not on Twitter. We get rid of our Twitter because Elon sucks. But we are on
That's
Facebook,
Musk.
Instagram. What's that?
Musk. Oh, sucks. Okay, never mind. That's good. Same thing.
Blue Sky, Threads, whatever. We're on all of them. We're even on Reddit and Bandcamp. That one time at Bandcamp, that's us. Look for us. Like I said, Salty Bear albums on there, Dome's on there, Rose Before Gin, which just got a little boost from Witch Police Radio. So thank you very much. And we'll have songs in the key of McGinnity on there, which is me and Todd again. I'll put that up I'll post it somewhere. But anyway, thank you all for showing up, and we will see you on